I'm here with the powerful Thalia Cuadra. For people who know your name but maybe don't know the story, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the journey that you're on right now?
Yeah, so I mean, my journey so far as an entrepreneur, I would say I'd call myself mainly an entrepreneur. So
Love it.
I'm a real estate investor. I'm also a producer of a show, wink wink, but also I mostly am a real estate investor, also teaching the younger generation on how to invest in real estate.
I love that. I mean, how powerful is that? What got you into wanting to teach the younger generation for?
Yeah, it really became something bigger than myself, but it started out as like I just wanted friends while building my own business. And I think we all can agree that like building a business is very difficult.
I just had someone on my podcast, and she was saying how she wished somebody told her how lonely entrepreneurship was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the loneliness like is with everybody, but I think it's even deeper when you're a young person
Yeah.
because when you're young and you want to involve yourself in these things, like people will tell you, go to the conferences, go to, different events to learn, workshops, boot camps, things like that. And you end up being very lonely in those rooms as well because you're maybe the youngest person there, or maybe the language is too outside of your own vocabulary that you haven't, gotten to yet. And so when I was first learning about real estate, it was my actual experience, whether or not my family was in real estate or not. It was still like, oh my gosh, the terms, and people already have mortgages or people already have families and they have kids and they're just in different phases of life.
Yeah.
So in order to learn how to invest in real estate, you kind of have to learn with people that have the same circumstances as you.
Great.
And so
And going through it at that stage.
yeah,
Right?
no, exactly.
Yeah.
And like to be successful, right? Like, I mean, we can all probably look back on when we were young and we've tried to do little things and it's like maybe it didn't work out, but ideally you want things to work, as you keep trying. And for me, the only way things work is with a team. And so
Agreed.
that's kind of how it happened. I just started to bring my friends along and then it kind of grew from there.
I love that. And when you were, what age groups are you doing with
Yeah.
610, right? That's
Yes.
the coaching.
So 610 Project is the official, real estate investing education platform for young people, young entrepreneurs, ambitious, aspiring entrepreneurs. Ideally, we have between the ages of like 17, 18,
Wow.
all the way up to 30. I mean, I'm 30 years old, but I am like the oldest one in
Yeah.
there at this point.
Yeah.
So a lot of our success stories actually are within the ages of like 20 and 25.
And how powerful is that? Because one, like you're saying, like it's entrepreneurship's lonely.
Yeah.
But when you're coming out of high school at 17, 18, you're not learning how to build a business, accounting, entrepreneurship, real estate investing, any of those, avenues. You're learning how to show up and basically be a worker.
Yeah.
So how powerful has that been for these people to also have mentorship from people that are doing it, but they're also like in the trenches.
Yeah.
They're doing it themselves. They're seeing it. How powerful has that been?
It's been incredible. It's
Yeah.
probably one of the more fulfilling things I've ever done. Like in all of the things that we could say that we've done in entrepreneurship, I feel like teaching the younger generation has been extremely fulfilling for me. Only to see like, yes, I was taught by my own dad and it was, close proximity. And I was very privileged in that way and blessed to
Amazing.
be able to be in close, just in close connection with someone with that much success. And that's kind of what the idea of 610 was for. It was to kind of provide that access to anyone and everyone that was interested.
Yeah.
But to see them actually like implement the things that they've learned, go out and find deals, go talk to realtors, like that's also scary, right? To
100%.
just go and talk to real estate
Yeah.
professionals when you're a young person, it's so intimidating. So it's been extremely powerful. Like we have young students in our program that are fully real estate investors. Like they do this full time.
Amazing.
And it's like we have a year program, so it does take dedication, it does take commitment from them. And we're selective. Like we don't just take like, yeah, you just come into the program, or it's like,
Yeah.
public school where you can go, you have to go, but kind of
Invitation only.
Yeah, exactly. So we definitely try to vet a lot of our students coming in.
That's great.
Because it really is like it's a commitment on both ends.
It is, and honestly, somebody could possibly ruin their life.
Yeah,
You know, like
100%.
if they got in too early, it wasn't for them. They made some
Exactly.
mistakes, but that's where like the great thing with the coaching is like you learn from those people.
Yes.
You like, I do a lot of coaching for like my real estate business and everything else, and you know, the cost of coaching is almost always like substantially less than making the mistake or getting there faster. Like, as you know, entrepreneurship's a speed game, who can execute the fastest. And like when you have coaches there that are helping you along the way, you're not, you know, I think Alfonso does in his boot camp where it shows like the, you know, the circles and things like that.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. That's amazing that you're doing that with the younger generation, because I feel like there's a real, the real gap for that.
Yeah.
Because so many people don't know where to go, for one. And then for two, we're at an information, like the information age is dead now, but there's so much information out there where it's like you go online, it's like they have no clue what they're doing. There's so much, and it's like, this is for the US.
Yes.
Well, that doesn't,
Exactly.
you know, that doesn't translate over to our Ontario market.
100%.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the one thing when we first started out the program was like, it's not an information program. Like you're not coming here to like just learn theory and it's like textbook and it's like, you know, boring calls and you're just sitting there. It's very like action based, like action oriented. A lot of our coaching calls tend to be like we're going on a walkthrough, or we'll have like coffee chats and like we're going through numbers together. And like you said, like it's all about speed. It cuts the journey in half for like someone that just in general, whether young or, you know, older, it's a long time to intake all this information and be able to apply it properly, right? And like go find the right deal. Like it's simple, but it's not necessarily easy, right? So for us, it was like, yeah, there's information everywhere. That's not the issue. The issue is the guidance. Where are we guiding these young people that are looking, that are hungry for this information? Because they're out there, especially now. Like I feel like, I don't know, even when I was a kid, like I feel like I was like a random kid that wanted to make money, but like
I was the same way.
My friends weren't really into that. You know what I mean? Like I was still into the video games and going out and doing things, but I was always like in the back of my mind, like, okay, I just spent that. How do I make that back?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd be at like a family reunion.
Yeah.
And like while everyone was playing in the pool and stuff, I was like hustling drinks just to get like money from my family and stuff like that. So there are a lot of kids, and when they're in school too, because they're not just sitting down. And, you know what I mean? They are, most entrepreneurships are C students, right? Or they drop out of, you know, so when they're being told in school that they're, you know, that analogy where it's like, a fish feels as stupid if it's based off how it climbs a tree. It's the same thing for a lot of entrepreneurs coming out. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Going back to what you were saying with, you know, having an entrepreneur for a father that did at such a big level. You know, you grew up while your dad was building a 9-figure business. What is one thing every entrepreneur parent should know about raising his kids and doing it the right way?
Wow, great question. I would say that your kids are not you, right? So a lot of times I would meet a lot of people that are obviously entrepreneurs, real estate investors, you know, everywhere. We're meeting these people every day, and they're always like, oh my gosh, like I would love to have my kid join your program, or my younger cousin, whatever the case is. And I'm like, awesome, like let's connect. And, you know, I'll go into asking, like, have they ever been interested in real estate or anything of this sort? And they'll be like, you know, a little bit, you know, not really.
Yeah.
And what I would say is, like, keep doing what you're doing as a parent by setting the example. Like, a lot of the times that we don't realize, I mean, I'm not a parent yet, but the parents don't realize that we're sponges. Like, we
100%.
literally hear and see everything more than they realize.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I was brought up. Like, my dad was teaching me, but it was more like what I was seeing. And one thing that I think my dad did really well was didn't push anything on me.
Which is
like,
amazing.
Yeah, like he wants me obviously to be, you know, in the business with him and be an entrepreneur. And he's always taught me, you know, to think for myself, think bigger, think outside of the box. But ultimately, my dad gave me the freedom to decide what I wanted to do. So even before I started real estate, I was in the workforce. I was working corporate. I had a 9-to-5 job, office job, just like any other person that's trying to get, make ends meet.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, wait a second, I kind of have the golden ticket at home.
Yeah.
But that's what I would, to answer your question, I think a lot of parents overthink maybe what their kids' futures will look like. I say, do exactly as you're doing and allow them to come to you, ask questions, maybe probe as well, be curious about their lives, what their interests are. And at some point, they come around.
You see that as a coach where these young kids are going into it and they go have that conversation at home with their parents and they're like, that's risky. You know what I mean? They don't see that. They see, the tried and true, go get a good job, go to college, do those things. But, real estate investing, they don't understand, the wealth that can be created and the opportunity there and how much you can mitigate that risk with the right educations and coachings.
You know what? It's actually really crazy to see that because you're talking to the young person in the family, probably the only person in the family that is thinking beyond, like just day-to-day working 9-to-5 life. And that to me is like mind-blowing because again, like I was telling you, my dad was the blueprint for me. I was able to, follow in someone's footsteps exactly and still have my own journey, but I had something to fall back on, like in terms of, guidance, advice. Like I'd be in tears sometimes when I was either closing something and I'd be in tears and I'd call my dad because who else am I going to call, right? And, I'd be coaching some of these students, like you said, that, they are pretty much the lone wolf in their family. And to watch them, like, really have to take it seriously because they're kind of doing this for like themselves but their family as well, it's really amazing. And I think for them too, it allows them to be, it's kind of like their only option. They treat it as like this is the end all be all, and that's where you get the really hungry young ambitious people that are like, this is it. If this doesn't work, there's nothing that will work type of thing. So the outcome of that, I think, is we're building young entrepreneurs, but they're like just straight up entrepreneurs. It doesn't have to be young or old. They're just like, they're learning as if they had nothing else to do type of thing. You know what I mean? And
they have that, like, the most important thing is like they have that circle of like-minded people where a lot of these kids, they don't have that at home.
100%.
You know what I mean? So
they have a community to go back to. And of course, like my dad's community allows for like on top of that support, like they just love the young people and they're just like so amazed by them. Like if I was your age, I'd be like this far at this point, so it really is.
That's the one thing I loved about like your dad with what he's building and the legacy, because like you're going there, you're going to expand and people have their kids there. It's like he's very family oriented.
Very.
It's really cool to see someone like building that and he's doing it so well because there's like so many positive people are getting gravitating towards that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's amazing. What was it like growing up around entrepreneurship and seeing those big goals? Because I know, like, on the Expand, I think you were saying that, like you were in the store, your dad was like, do some YouTube for like show some merch. What was it like?
So my dad is the epitome of pushing you out of your comfort zone. Like that is the reason he is probably one of the best teachers, because he literally pushes you off of the ledge and you sink or swim type of thing. Obviously with like, are you okay? Type of thing. Like he's obviously still
he's there. He's like that parent, like go in the pool, but just watch it. Like, he'll make sure that you
he was always the, growing up just as a kid, like, just in a normal setting, he would always be like, go outside, like go run around, like hurt yourself or something. Because I was always kind of cooped up and like I was a homebody. So anyways, so he is really the type of person to push you out of your comfort zone. So I would work with him a lot. Or not work with him, but I would go to the store with him and I would kind of just be chilling there and watch him do his thing. And then he'd all of a sudden pull out a camera and just be like, okay, talk to me about these hats. And I'll be like, okay, I'll just start talking about these hats. And it kind of like built this like, what's the word? Just kind of like off the fly way that I could present myself or whatever it is.
Quick
like
on your
just the
feet,
yeah, the quick on your feet type of public speaking.
So important in business.
That's something, I mean, I didn't even realize that's what he was doing, but that's exactly what he was doing for me. Like, he was kind of setting me up for me to be able to, like, speak for yourself, speak up, you know, be, you know, whatever. If you don't even know how to, or you don't have to know what you're talking about, like, as an expert, but just to be able to, like, say what you mean what you say type of thing. So that was often. He would, you know, we would have, like, conversations where I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to do this. Well, here's a story for you, actually. So while we were at the store, I was really into photography at the time when I was younger. And this is also the time where, like, digital cameras would come out.
Okay.
So, like, you know, you could get, like, a $30 one from, like, Walmart or whatever. But I was like,
Yeah.
oh, my gosh, I need one. So went to my dad, and I said, Dad, I kind of, like, built my case. And I said, I need to get this camera because I'm going to be a photographer. And this is why you need to get me this camera. And he said, okay, that's awesome. How are you going to get it?
Love it.
Yeah. And it was kind of like silence for a couple seconds. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, I'm coming to you so that we can go get it. And he's like, yeah, of course, we can go get it. But, like, how are you going to pay for it? Okay. So, and this is honestly, it's such a vivid memory for me because this is probably the moment I realized that I'm going to have to figure things out myself as I grow older. And it's not because he doesn't want to help me, but it's because he wants to help me.
That's extremely powerful.
Yeah. And as a kid, you kind of like, oh my gosh, like, you just, you know?
Let's go, Dad.
Yeah. I'm like, Dad, you got the money. He's like, I have the money. Do you have the money? Right? So that started the whole discourse.
Too.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And actually, it ended up being a little business for myself, like a mini business where we came up with a business plan, and at the store where he had it, it was on Rideau Street, right downtown heart of Ottawa, and I was selling water bottles on Canada Day. So at the time, Canada Day was really a thing. Like, people would walk up and down the street. They would close the streets down so people could, like, parade down the street.
Yeah.
And, of course, Canada Day is really hot, July 1st, right? So people were buying water bottles, like, left and right. I'm a cute 8-year-old girl. Like, people giving me tips for no reason. Yeah. So it allowed me to kind of understand the idea of, like, profit and things. He gave me a loan, actually. So he gave me a $20 loan.
Love it. To
buy water bottles and ice and a cooler to have all my stuff. I got postcard, or, like, not the postcards, but, like, those big things. I forget what they're called. But, like
the Bristol boards?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I can, like, make my sign and everything for my little store. And, I made my first profit. I gave him back the $20 because it was a loan. And I made, like, I think it's like $150 or something.
That's better than
1 year. Yeah.
That's better than anything you're gonna learn in school.
Well, exactly. And I got my camera, and then I did that every year for like 3 or 4 years on Canada Day. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's honestly
amazing.
What do you think, like, young people need more of now? Honestly, what you're seeing.
Yeah. I feel like as time has gone on, like, I feel like since COVID, a lot of things have changed.
100%.
Like, when I was a kid, you know? So, like, you know, people don't need more information. They don't need, they don't need more information. I think community is always needed. Mm-hmm. And I think the idea of having a community or, like, a village, right, is something that, like, I feel like just the general population is talking about more. Like, we were disconnected for a long time because of, I think, the COVID being separated. You're at home. You can only really connect over the phone, Zoom. Like, that kind of, like, breeded a whole disconnection era, I feel, from then until now. And I think it's kind of coming back where people are, like, really appreciating being in the room with other people and feeling the energy. And it's different. Like, if you know, I have coaching sessions obviously online, but it's really not the same, like, unless I'm in the room with someone, or we go to an event together, or we're meeting other people. Like, just the energy is completely different when you're trying to get to a certain goal. Like, everything online and digital is amazing when you're, you know, if you're in Dubai and I'm here, but the in-person community building connection. Like, I feel like I think we always need that.
I love it. And you said, so your dad got you this camera. You started like a little business with it. Is that what made you kind of pursue that with the producer angle?
Honestly, no. The producer thing, yeah. So, great segue. So the show we're working on is called The Godfather's Offer. And honestly, I never really expressed how much I actually do like the like filmmaking or just like that industry.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of been intrigued by it. But yes, ever since I was a kid, I was always into like photography and things like that. But I'm really a creative person in general. So I would do a lot of like branding when I was like kind of just doing random businesses. Like I would do a lot of branding. I've built websites. Like I've tried to build apps before. Like all these little things that you kind of like test out. Never really worked out. But my dad came to me and he said, "Yeah, we want to film a show. Like, what do you think?" And I'm like, "I don't even need to know what it's about. I'm in."
Let's go.
You know, like I'm in for it. And then he started to explain to me the format and the actual concept. And it's kind of like a live Shark Tank, Dragon's Den type of situation where you're kind of doing a live pitch, but we're taking you to the property. We're going to see, you know, what it's like, what is the thinking of an investor when they decide to transact on a deal. And then furthermore, my dad's thinking, right? When he decides to transact on a deal, like we know about his portfolio, but how did you get to that decision type of thing? And it shows like it's a two-part thing where it exposes an investor on the show and how they do their work, or a realtor, how they do their work, and how also we do it as a family as well.
I think that's really powerful because you actually see behind the scenes and like the investor mindset. There's not a whole lot of fluff there. I think that's extremely powerful for people. It's like a case study.
Yes.
On TV.
No, exactly.
It also shows people how to, I'm going to assume, I haven't seen it yet. I'm super excited.
Yes.
But it kind of seems like it actually shows like how to get deal flow too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Connect with the realtors, connect with the investors.
100%.
And things like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, I mean, it hasn't released yet, but it's releasing soon in August, hopefully. Can I say that you're going to be on the show?